I'm Harriet Alvarez, and I'm also outgoing, so this is my last meeting as well, so.
And Jerry, I'm sorry, Jerry Edge, who is, he's out to sea at the moment, so he's, not attending.
I'm Casey Harris. I have been the lawyer for the association for quite some time. So I very much forward to, even if we don't have a quorum tonight, doing what I can to answer questions.
I have another question about the, board. Do you, does the community vote the people in? How do you know when there's an opening and that if someone wanted to put their name in, how does that go?
There's an application on the, website. If you give me your email address, I'll email it to you.
No, I just wanted to know what the process is.
Yeah.
You know, how do you know who's running? And, I've been here, it'll be 3 years. This is the first notice I got.
I'm not sure why that is, but because it's noticed every year to all the owners of
Didn't get
record.
any. I guess we're not.
Well, I think this is what I think she's asking. 'Cause I was
Well,
wondering-
before we get into a back and forth, do we know if we have a quorum? I just wanna set whether this is gonna be like just an informal meeting, or whether it's gonna be like an agenda and vote meeting, because we can certainly talk. I just wanna make sure that we accomplish the voting, if we can do voting.
But how are we gonna vote if we don't know who's running?
Well, that's,
Okay.
I get you.
The agenda?
Yeah. Did you want, do we have a quorum?
No. We have spouses that are here with, there's only one vote per owner, so we have 35 of those. There should be 35 of those, and then there are 5 proxy votes that were turned in. So we have a total of 40 people that would be eligible to vote that are here tonight. So, that's what we have.
So 40, what does that mean, 40?
Nothing.
Right, how many do we need to have a quorum?
252.
Right, so we need quite a few, right? So we're a little bit away from that.
We've made no effort though to rally people around.
I'm gonna tell you what, this is an effort. This is an effort, getting this many people here is an effort.
But, I mean, the community's so large, I don't understand that.
It's 720 homes.
Mm-hmm.
28.
And how does that not play here?
The issue, one of the big issues is we have a lot of rentals.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of properties are rental properties, and unless the homeowners themselves send us in their proxies, which they do not, as you can see, we only had 5 proxies.
Yes.
Do you think it would be better if you sent out the proxies by mail and with an envelope and they sent them back? I think that, I mean, when I was in the president, that's what we did, and we got plenty back.
Their proxies are online. It's a form that you can print out and fill out online, and then fax it back, and email it back, or you can mail it in.
What happens if people don't have access to a computer, or a lot of people don't have a printer?
Then if they call me, I will hand deliver it. I've done that. I hand delivered several.
Let's go on to.
I guess the problem is that we didn't know about this.
Yes.
Until
Literally.
5 days ago, if that.
Yeah.
I got mine on
I
Saturday.
didn't find out until I got it on Facebook. I still didn't receive mine.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think Casey can explain how service goes.
So, services USPS, and I'm sorry if USPS is not doing a good job. I mean, that's terrible, and it's awful.
I went and spoke to the postmaster today. And he said that there was a discrepancy in the bulk mail that was taken to the St. Mary's post office. He said that he spoke with Deb about the envelopes and the plastic, the foil in the envelopes, and that they could not be processed properly. And then he said that he spoke with Deb and told her to leave those, that he would bypass the Jacksonville post office, and he would make sure personally himself that those letters would go straight to the mail carriers. And he said that she left with the letters, and he has no idea how they were mailed out. And
That's not at all what happened.
and then, well, I've got the envelope and I took it to him. And the zip code, he said when she brought this, that it could not be processed good. Cause he said that you were saying that they were getting returned. And he said it's because of these flaps here. So he asked that this is what he told me, that he asked if you would have them re-enveloped. And you said that wasn't possible because these were done by a third party. He said, so he said for you to leave them and that they would, by hand, go over all these markings and have them delivered.
Alright, let's start from square one.
Okay,
Right here.
and he said she left with them, so I took this to the postmaster this morning, and this zip code that's on here is a Wisconsin zip code. So he says he has no idea where these were mailed from.
Okay.
So that he could not guarantee because they were not mailed from our post office.
Okay, well, regardless of his explanation or not, and what happened, like, completely aside the point, we don't have a quorum. I'm just trying to make it clear for everybody here.
Well, that is the point, you can't have a quorum without them being notified.
But, okay, so to your point, whether you wanna say we do or don't have a quorum based on the mail going out, there's no quorum. Like, even if it's a good mail, there's no quorum.
I've
So
been here
there's
at Sugarmill
no-
for 18 years,
so
and we've
there
never
isn't-
had a
please-
quorum in
please-
18 years.
Please let me finish. So if you don't have a quorum, I'm just trying to save the time of the people who are here to make sure that their vote is here in person. I want everybody to be heard, I want us to talk about everything. I'm saying, regardless, full mail, no matter what, there's no quorum. And I just wanna save the time for those of you who say, I don't wanna be here if I can't cast my vote. I wanna let you
Why
know.
don't we reschedule it for everybody to attend?
We're gonna talk about that. I'm just trying initially at the beginning of the meeting to say, if somebody needs to leave because they're waiting for something else, I don't want you to sit around here waiting thinking you're gonna be able to cast a vote. Like, we don't have a quorum today.
Okay,
No
we
matter
understand, we understand, we
what.
understand. We're no votes, we got it. We got it. Is there a way to change it legally, from your point, like, do we need to hire a lawyer from our side so that we can have a quorum?
No, because it's based on majority. If we don't have a majority, it doesn't matter.
Is there any way to change it
No.
legally?
No, because it's an association, we have to have a group of homeowners to actually attend.
But how do we know if the homeowners are even notified?
I understand, and so, okay, so reading through the covenants, I read through them in entirety last night in doing this. So, per Deb and the board, they turned them over to the U.S. Postal Service. Per the covenant, they are no longer required and have no other responsibility other than say that they were given to the Postal Service. After that, what happens with them happens with them. I
Can we
understand.
ask where they were mailed from?
Yes, I will be happy to share all of that with you.
Yeah,
because
Deb's got the information.
I have proof. It's the same company we use every year. It's called Bank Aid Account. And every year I send them the information and they mail it out. They're in Wisconsin. Now, I talked to the postmaster and Jan, you were there whenever I talked to the postmaster. And what he told me, and I want you all to please check your mail, y'all are using cheap envelopes. Anything that has a cellophane cover, well, it just gets lost because they can't read it because of the glare. That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Right. Check your mail and see what you get from your own bank and from everybody else. They mailed these on the 3rd all of the out-of-town owners that we contacted got theirs. Something's going on between Jacksonville and here. Something's going on between Jacksonville and here. I gave him letters to mail, but it was not these. I don't have these. All I got of these was what was returned to our address, and they made copies of them, you know? So, but I have the proof here from bank account, and they were mailed on 11/30, and I've got the proof and what it says. Shipped via USPS first class mail on 11/3/2022. Sugar Mill Plantation OA, 3-page count. 2023 letter for owners meeting, annual letter for 2022. The total cost of that mail out was $810.11. And then I called them when we started having all of this, and they sent me asking who processed it. Who processed how many letters, and 728, and which machine sent them out. All of this information came from bank account as their proof of who actually processed 728 pieces of the mail. So the problem is somewhere between Jacksonville and here, because all of our mail goes to Jacksonville. But I have the proof that they were mailed on the 3rd. If anybody will look at their envelope or kept it, you'll see it's postmarked the 3rd. And people in California that are out-of-town owners, they received their letters, because when I started hearing that people locally weren't getting their letters, I started calling. Somebody told me that nobody on Channel Way got theirs. So I called the out-of-town owners, they had theirs. So
Okay, look, respectfully, I've been here for 3 years. I've never gotten one of these, so maybe that's the glitch from this year. But why is it never posted on Facebook? I personally tried to contact you multiple times, and I've got proof. And I tried to personally post it. Jennifer Spinell, 107 Sherman Way.
Okay.
I tried to personally contact you to post it on the Facebook page, so everybody who wasn't getting their mail would get it, and you ignored my messages not only about this, but about multiple things.
There is
So if there's I'm sorry, so if there's a mail issue, how easy is it for it to post on Facebook? She uses Facebook to
There's
post
no,
everything else.
Facebook is not legal service.
I understand, but does it not help? And then, I'm just saying, I tried, I don't need to leave it, I'm just saying for everyone, I tried to get it posted.
It was posted on Facebook.
After I messaged, you want to get my messages after I messaged.
Ma'am, I hear what you're saying.
I don't need you to hear it, we need Deb to hear it, and we need the board to hear it, because.
I mean, seriously.
Okay.
It was posted on Facebook.
But hear me out.
I'll tell you what.
What you receive is yours. You can do what you want with it. If you wanna post it somewhere, great. Like,
you live in our
enjoy
neighborhood?
posting it to whomever. But there's no legal, listen, they can only do what needs to be legally required of them.
No, they could do more than that. 90%
Oh,
of us didn't get this until Saturday. So how is
Especially
when I message her and say, hey, something's going on, we're not getting the messages, here's another post.
Did you
of
say,
multiple
hey,
owners.
send it to me?
Did I say, hey, no, I got it. I posted and said, I messaged them specifically and said,
Okay.
these messages didn't go out, can we please post it? So
You-
now she knows there's an issue with her mail. So she didn't address it to the neighborhood. That's my
It
point.
was addressed in the
When?
sense that
When?
she sent it out.
No. When I addressed her and said, there's a problem with the mail, no one's getting the mail, can you please make a Facebook page?
You don't need to ring the bell.
We can do
You
it
don't
next
need
time.
to ring
There's
the
one
bell.
more thing.
I'll take care of this right now.
I would love to see the rest of the meeting, so I'll stop. There's more things that we want to talk about than this, so I would love to keep going. Thank you.
I just
We
have a
don't
quick
have to
question.
keep talking about this
Deb?
because this is not a meeting.
Can you
There is no
please
quorum.
spell out that who you use? You said the name of
Bank account, yes.
bank account. Bank everything. You take it.
I want to make sure
This is who's-
that
Oh, okay.
your
Thank you.
questions are answered
Thank
because you're here. You made the effort to show up. We really appreciate it. That is really great. I'm telling you about the mail. You mail the things out, the post office does what, they give a proof of service, that's the end of it. Let's move beyond that and take care of the other things that we're dealing with.
It was put on our website and on our Facebook page on the 19th of November.
But to ask me like, why don't you put it on Facebook? You know what? Why don't you put it on my TikTok? Why don't you put it on my,
Well, then why is the pool being closed for maintenance and everything else?
what does
put
that
on-
have to do with the posting?
Because it's put on Facebook.
Everything's on
Everything's
Facebook.
through Facebook. Everything. That's how I find out.
Every-
And
No,
then-
that's an additional layer of
It is an
notice to
additional
you.
layer.
It has
Everything is
nothing
on
to
the
So
do.
in my
digital
opinion, it's not an additional
platform.
layer. It could be an additional, it's just helpful to us. We're not, we know we're not voting, so it's a help, we're
I
we're
agree.
trying to get help, like stuff
Listen,
fit.
helpful.
Yes.
We are
helpful.
trying to do helpful, for
So
sure.
it would be helpful if you guys could post it a little earlier on Facebook so that everybody could get childcare or know if their mail's not coming, they can still come. Because look, it did get posted on Facebook and people posted it on the other page and look how many people turned out. So if we did get a Facebook post maybe a
listen,
little earlier, then
It's
we could have
great,
even more.
like, I love that y'all are using Facebook and the other things to get people here. I agree, I think that's
It's helpful.
fantastic, it's very helpful. But
The board is making notes and we made
Okay.
notes that we will make sure it's posted
Hold
earlier.
on, hold
Thank
on,
you.
hold on.
Well,
Who's behind you, sir? Sir, did you have a question?
Just a question and a statement, really. Hi, my name is James Stark. I live in 200 Flamingo Drive.
Hey, James.
Hi. So I think the majority of us are here because we're concerned about the operation of Sugar Mill Plantation. And I think the problem is that there's so much information out there with other HOA communities. And there are, because I've lived in 2 HOA communities so far, and my in-laws live in a really nice one, and they all operate very similarly, and as in they operate very modern. And I think the problem, I think it'd be easier for all of us if we could potentially update the system, update the bylaws.
So as far as operate, what do you mean operate?
Sure, absolutely. So we can talk about what they do for voting, for example. So in their online portal, they have a website where each individual can sign on, and there would be a form, right? And if you can make the form like this, great. If you cannot, there will still be a 2 to 3 month
We're
voting.
working on that kind of stuff.
We are?
Yes, we
Yes.
got the information that we're
Please,
gonna.
everyone, in your annual, in the letter that came with the notice, the annual letter, we address that. And it says,
But you need
Okay, but
no, it says good news. I mean, y'all need to know this. We have, affiliated with HOA. And we will be going to a portal system the first of the year. And so that's what we said in the letter that went out. And if you didn't get your letter, it was on our Facebook page on the 19th when we realized a lot of people had not got theirs. Okay, I just,
it was.
oh, okay, sorry.
Cover page.
Yeah, it's just the cover page.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that, but anyway, for those of you who don't know, we have contracted and we will be going to that system, so please, I've had it on the website for everybody to update their contact information, but wait to do that because excuse me, I'm talking please. We need to wait and be aware that around the middle of December, they're gonna give us the information on how we will set up the individual accounts for everybody. We've already started transferring over information to get your account set up. And each owner will have they'll set up their own password, so you can go into your account and look at your statement 24/7. Now, there's lots of different things that we can add to that. One, like the annual notice, we can put things like that on the website because this information is for the HOA owners of record. And that's why by the bylaws, it says in the bylaws, we have to mail it to the owners of record because those are the members. But wait, we're ahead of you on that because we are set up to start that. So please, everybody cooperate and get us the information we need so that we can get that working well as quickly as possible. But yes, we do realize that'll make it easier for everybody, especially our guys in the service. That, you know, when they're away, they don't know, but now they can access their portal 24/7 and know exactly where they
Okay,
stand.
we have no problem paying our bills.
All right,
We're
listen,
fine. We have no
everybody.
problem with that.
Thank you.
Hold on, listen, all right, just listen. All right? Ms. Deb Maynard runs our management company for Sugar Mill, all right? We as the board of directors, we are the ones that vote on different things. We run the budget, we approve the budget, we approve all the maintenance, all the new maintenance, all the repairs, all these things. There's a lot of stuff that the board does that you guys do not understand, all right? These are menial things. A lot of the stuff that you're talking about are simple things that we need to correct. We are working towards those goals. We are trying to get up to the 21st century. That's something we've been working on. We will have it. All the information you need from us is at the Sugar Mill website, not Facebook. All right? Anything you need, any questions you need to ask, you should be asking them on the Sugar Mill website. All right? Everything is there that you need. The bylaws are there. Everything that you need to inquire on is there. Like I said, we can't fix things unless we know of them. So you have to send us emails. So I just want to get that out. All right, sir, what you got?
Yes, my name is Orlando Castro. I'm from 210 Flamingo Drive. What I would like to say is that Facebook might not be a legal way to do it. The problem is we just found out on Facebook. We've been living here for 11 years, and whenever there was a meeting, when Ray Parks was in the committee, we always assisted the meetings. We haven't been in the meetings for probably, 4 or 5 years, because by the time we find out there was a meeting, it's done. So right now, we're here just because we found out on Facebook.
Well, I've made a.
So the mail problem is not something recent.
Well, this is the first year that we have knew about it. So, you don't know what you don't know. I've made a note and we'll make sure that it gets posted on social media next year. Is the only thing we can do now to fix it. So,
Okay.
no, the budget won't be put on social media, but the letters will.
Well, the best, if the problem is the mail, why not change it? Change
Well,
the
that's what
system.
we are, with this new HOA portal, you'll be able to get those, and it should
It can
solve
push them out.
a lot of details. Will we get emails instead of mail? If we're doing the new system?
On legal, you will get mail, plus you get it on an email.
When it's all set up, there will be a way for the forms, like for this information, if you provide all the information that's needed to set up your portal correctly, I would be able to shoot this straight to all the owners. See, that's what will be good about that, and it's within our system, so it's private, the budget is really not, it's just for the owners of record and then for them to initially bid, so that'll be very helpful. That's why we're excited about that.
You had a question?
I just have a question. When can we actually stand up and speak, so we're not just all yelling at everybody? Is there a portion where we're allowed to, is it unfinished?
We're not having a meeting per
Okay,
se.
obviously, we're not having a meeting, we can't vote on anything, but we wanna talk to you, instead of people just yelling and standing and interrupting everybody, can it just be orderly and we stand up, raise our hands,
just like school.
I'm trying to get everybody in order that they raise their
Well, I mean,
hands.
we
I'll see you
have to
back
listen to what
there.
you all have to say first, and then we can sort of.
Well,
Let me
yeah,
try to say what I'm advising.
yeah.
Okay, I'll give one report, and that will, yeah, thank you. I have been the liaison between the board and the advisory committee for several years.
sometime during COVID, due to people moving and family issues, I lost all my committee members. And so, you know, we made Santa in the Park happen last year with just Deb and I, and her foreign exchange student, and Santa. So I am pleased to announce that we have 3 new members to our advisory committee, and if you are here and I didn't see you, please stand. Melissa Kammerer from Old Mill Bluff, Donna Joseph from Miller Trace, and Roxanne Shaw from Matthews Ridge. I still need more people. I need somebody representing Mill Creek, McIntosh Landing, even though I live there, I still need a person. New Savannah, Hunters Point, Madison Place. You do have to be an owner. I can't take renters. They can give me suggestions, but they technically can't be on the committee. This year, in May, we did Mother's Day gift cards, and we did the Father's Day gift cards, Deb and I, because that's all that we had on the committee, but we got that done. Maybe next year with my new committee, we can get some more done. We do have Santa in the Park scheduled for December 17th, and we will start posting that on Facebook. It's from 11 to 1. You bring your own camera, take your pictures with Santa. Hopefully it's not 900 degrees because, you know, Santa would sweat too much. And then we have the Christmas lighting contest we do every year, and the judges will be going around on December 18th. I believe that's a Sunday night from 7 to 9. So, you know, I've seen some great ones already. Appreciate that. And get more members to the advisory committee. We can plan things for the pool. You know, we were gonna do something for the pool opening, but we've just had a lot of technical issues with the pool. In addition to Deb dealing with the contractors, I've also helped her deal with that. I have experience from running a pool in South Carolina, and I live close. So I've gone over to help and deal with different issues at the pool. We've had a lot of chemical issues that's been unavoidable, but we've made some progress and making some repairs, and we're hoping that's not going to be the issue this year. You know, so fingers crossed. You know, getting good help is another thing. Even at the rec center, they can't find enough lifeguards. We will need pool attendants in the spring. Yeah, not lifeguards, but pool attendants. So hopefully we can find some people to do that. So if you have questions about the advisory committee, or if you want to apply, see me afterwards. I have some applications. I could use some more help. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
we're gonna get to you, Laura. What you got?
Apple.
I just wanted to clarify, talking about the portal that they had used, you were able to vote versus everybody having to be here using the portal to vote, and you said we've got things coming, so clarifying that we will be able to vote on the new portal.
I don't believe legally we can. Not
You
according
need
the
to
covenant.
amend your bylaws.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Sorry.
I hate to get the bearer of bad news, but that's been what's down on the court.
What you got, sir?
So, I live at 103 Walgrave Drive, again, been in this, subdivision for 18 years. And how many active owners do we have that actually live in Sugar Mill? And how many are being sent out via mail to try to reach these people? Because if we're never gonna have a quorum because we don't have the 200, then this is kind of a moot point.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're wasting our time.
Yeah, no, the owners of record have their addresses of record.
The
and that's
bylaws
who-
need to be rewritten, is what needs to be done.
Okay, we'll get a quorum together and redo the bylaws and the
got to change the written bylaws.
I agree, like redo it, it'd be lovely.
So do we know how many, how many homeowners live in Sugar Mill out of the 728?
So what is your total HOA like lots?
Renters, there's about 35%.
No, forget renters. Like, how many lots?
728 properties.
Okay, and then we send everything that we can to the owner of record,
So how
because
many-
that's the person.
So how many homeowners live in Sugar Mill out of those
How would we know that? That's not something for us, we can't go door to door and, no. We cannot go door to door and say, do you live here, do you not?
No, but
Do
you
you
have
want, do you want somebody coming to your door and
But
saying,
each
do
property,
you live here?
each property has to be listed as a homeowner or
Right.
as a
Why,
property.
what legal authority? Does it have to be listed?
I do have that.
She does have
I do have that.
Yes.
I don't know.
Required.
But it's right there. We signed it, and why not decide it?
Well, for our pool list, in order for us to have the information that we need to know if the house is, we're not required to do it, but I do have that information so that I can be aware of which ones are owner occupied and which ones are tenant occupied. Now, that information is only as good as what the owners send me or the management company send me. Because a lot of times, people will rent their house themselves, move away, they never let us know that it's now occupied by, who's living there, so we have no.
Don't the owners pay the HOA fees?
Pardon?
So, don't the owners pay the HOA fees? I'm not sure.
They do.
So then. We're just asking if we need to redo the bylaw, how we do that. If you're saying there's no way, then just tell us there's no way.
I would
We're
love for
asking.
you to review the bylaws
Is there
in
no
a
way
way
you can
that
do
makes
it?
you happy about following the money. You don't have a quorum.
Okay, is there no way we can get one? That's what we're saying. So if
Yeah,
all of
that's
them
the
live out of
question,
town,
is
there's no
there
way for us
some
to
way
do
we
it, then
can
what
get
is
around
No, so there is a threshold. The threshold is the issue of the initial quorum. I understand how you're saying that you want a different quorum going forward. Got it, hear you. You have to get over what's in your initial bylaws and your covenants right now to make a new standard. So,
But to make that new standard, we have to know who we're able to actually reach.
all right, well, here, I'll tell you right now, you're able to actually reach. It's your HOA, it's the established address that y'all get to get in touch with. I really think if you wanna change things as far as who gets to vote and what the majority is, what the minority is, all that stuff, you have got to make a change in your bylaws and your covenants, and that requires a majority.
Right.
That's what we're trying to get here. What I wanna know, is there a way to
Never gonna
do
have, if we're never gonna have the maximum number that we're required, which is 200 plus, then every time we come to these meetings, we're never gonna vote on anything.
I agree. That's so frustrating. That's terribly and awfully
We're
frustrating.
asking the number, the factual
18
number.
years.
What is the factual number? The data input, what is the amount of
But
people
Deb
that
said she
we're
had-
asking? We're not upset, we're asking a question.
But she has the numbers.
What is the figure number? Typically in your bylaws, it's 1/6 of the standing community that's in good standing.
It's not 1/6.
So is it 2/3?
That's our first problem.
Are you sure? Because sometimes it says 1/6.
No, it's been
No, let me
two-thirds
look,
for a
let me
long
look,
time.
let me look.
Listen,
I think
how
it's
do we
2/3.
contact each?
But let me find it, let me find
Right,
it.
we
I
can't
want you to
contact
do.
each other.
Yeah,
That's
does
your
it
job.
say in good
Because-
standing in the bylaws?
Yes.
Now, why can't you guys do something and send everybody a mail like this and say, send it back to us if you are in good standing? And if you don't get it back, then you don't have to worry about that person, you'll have a smaller number.
I'll go door to door.
The new portal will allow us to make sure everybody has the information. Well, we did that. Now, exactly how we're gonna, every owner of record, I have their mailing address. If they've updated it with me, I have that. Whenever somebody buys a house, I change that out, and I have that. The management companies send me the tenant's information. So, I don't know, online if we can't, I don't know, but maybe we can do something through the
We're
portal. I
gonna
don't
move
know
forward,
that.
we're gonna move forward with using the portal. We're gonna find a way to legally get a hold of all the homeowners. We're gonna find a legal way to do that. But the problem is getting a hold of each homeowner and getting their process, right? So, who's gonna make sure they say the right thing, right?
I'm looking at the
Yes or
bylaws
no.
right now.
Right, well, it's up to that homeowner, but, I don't know, we're working on it with this portal. This portal's gonna change a lot of things.
Okay, hold on one second, hold on. We're gonna go 35 minutes with the next question.
You really just need a loophole.
One is,
We would love
we don't have a quorum, we have an agenda, okay, I'm sorry. Paul Simmons, 100 Green Elk. I've been there for like 24 years. Never had a quorum. Question, when we don't have a quorum, all the decisions have been made, what happens with it?
it goes to the board.
Exactly. So, in other words, it's to the board's advantage not to have a quorum, but to get to make a decision.
No, excuse me.
I can't hear.
That's not
to their
something,
advantage.
I have lived here for 28 years. There was one quorum. No, there was one. Because that's when the developer turned over the votes, okay? I'm not saying that this was correct. This was done up by someone not of my choosing. But I can tell you, I've been on this board. I'd love to get off. I wish we had more volunteers. This is not a pride thing. I'm not trying to be anything other than a homeowner. And I want to keep the standards up in our subdivision. I'm proud of the fact that we have the walking trails and we have a pool and we have nice lawns around here and the fountains and all of those things. I want that to keep our property values up. I don't want to be on the board because of some self-serving thing. And I kind of resent it, not you, but in the way that people think that this board is omnipotent. We're not.
It's because you have every single say and we have 0% of the say. That's what
But that's not our control.
It's not your control, that's what's happening. Okay, and first of all, I want to apologize to you because I've had concerns about it for a long time, but I'm working, I ain't got the time to do it. Now I'm retired, I should make myself available to do more things.
Bless you.
I will, we'll see about that. I'm too busy running around doing other travel.
I understand.
But, the other question I had was, regarding the budget, is there any way to get a detailed look at the budget?
Yes,
I can essentially see things that are paid for on a regular basis that I personally don't see the results of.
Yes,
It's not only that, but if we're paying the same people year after year to do the same things, and some of the things that we're paying them monthly for is not monthly required. That's why I would just see a detailed budget, and I also would like to know, how do we get this budget, how do we decide who did the contract to do, but these are all concerns that I have, but I haven't had time to address them yet, but is there a way I can find out this information?
Yes, I can, tonight, I have, some of you have asked for the profit and loss statement for 2021. There are only 25 copies, I think, here, so, and then there's also the, profit and loss through September. But I have the budget, and I can tell you what was spent last year in each category, and I can tell you, what we have spent to date, and I can tell you what categories that has been spent on. And, I don't know, exactly what y'all wanna hear all the hands, is that what you wanna know about the budget?
I have two questions.
Well, I mean, honestly, if we're gonna go through this, if you want to know, like this gentleman wants to know in detail what each, what it means, what the budget means, that's your question?
Why don't we do that? Let's answer their
Yeah.
questions, and then we'll come back and do the budget.
Okay. Cause I do have that information for you, so that you will be aware.
Make that 3 questions. Well, 2 questions and a statement.
You're good.
So I'm gonna backtrack just because everybody's been talking. I think one thing that we're all upset about is that we haven't met the amount of people that we need to meet, and y'all are talking about a portal, but y'all are saying that it's not legal to vote on the portal.
Not to vote.
Right. So can we come up with ideas legally to figure out a way to get this many people to vote so that way we can have a vote? Cause I don't wanna keep coming to meetings if we're not gonna be allowed to vote. But if we can figure out a legal way to have so many people without them showing up, I think that would help us a lot.
We would need, from what I see, it looks like an amendment of not less than 75% of the votes of each class of members to amend this.
But do we know what we want to amend?
Oh, no, we could do it by proxy, but it's a matter of literally getting that many people together.
Right, that's the issue. And that was my question, is could we send out a letter and check whatever you vote for and mail it back? Is that a legal option that we could receive?
Yeah, I think we can do mail by notice. We basically call them proxies. We have a special meeting, and then there's a meeting, like somebody sits in a room, but everybody that can sends in a proxy. Great, but they have to send in a proxy. We had 5 proxies today.
But we have to make an effort to get it. No effort really to make it.
Yeah, people aren't gonna go online to get the process.
She has more questions, but I have a question about quorum, because one person is saying 1/3 and then one person
Well,
saying.
that's a quorum in a meeting, now maybe to
Quorum
change
at
the
a meeting
bylaws,
versus
it
an
might be
amendment to the
different.
bylaws.
Is there a specific on annual meetings, since this is an annual meeting in the bylaws?
It says one.
1/3.
If you have a third.
Well, because I've heard 1/3, I've heard 2/3, and then I've even heard 1/6 before in a bylaw.
Okay, if it's 1/3 to hold the meeting, but it takes 75, did you say?
No, for an amendment.
For an
That's
amendment
an
to the bylaws. So,
Change the bylaw.
To the covenants.
to the covenants. So, if I'm correct, the covenants are registered with the state as part of the property.
Yes.
And you have to have 75% of the people affected by that change.
An instrument signed by not less than 75% of the votes of each class of members.
So
for
y'all
an
don't-
amendment to the.
So in this room right now, you don't have enough people to change your covenants and restrictions or your bylaws or any type of amendment. However, do you know the number of quorums for this amendment?
Even if it's a third, we don't have a
Listen,
third.
a meeting means no different, like if you can't actually vote to change, we can't, like, we're having a meeting right
Well,
now.
just like 2 people are stepping down, are people able to vote on that tonight because there's enough people in the room for a 1/3? Do we know that number? And also, do you have the AR summary for knowing who's in good standing?
Yes, that's something that,
Not
yes,
even close.
I can, right. We have
Not in-
728 properties.
So you have 728
And we
properties, but
have
how,
35 owners here
But
that
how
can
many-
vote and 5 proxies.
1/3 of 728 is 200.
but that's not correct, because you have to include the people who aren't paying. Because it does say good standing, yes?
And these are good standing.
All 728 properties are within good standing?
No.
No.
But if we have to adjust, but still, you're talking 200-ish people for a
What
quorum.
I'm saying is, and I'm just a proxy, I'm one of the 5. What I'm saying is these homeowners want to make a change, so are you including the AR summary? The people who haven't paid, the people who are not in good standing, that do not get a vote whether they show up or not.
Of the 728.
Yes, ma'am.
We have to adjust the number to do
So
that.
as of right now, we don't know what that number is, right?
Yeah, Deb does, but it's still, we're
It's
not.
not
So what,
120.
so I think everybody would like to know, could you be working on getting that number for us?
But it's still, it's,
No.
So
So
you're-
I
so
think the
you're-
answer is yes. Like,
So-
do you have that number? Like, I think you've pared down the total.
Well,
Minus the people who are
Are,
not.
like, I know you can't show me the AR summary, but are you able to have the AR
Like,
summary?
people who are not
and
eligible to vote, so that
Exactly,
can make it better.
because that brings that number down, and that might help these people.
Well,
I see your point.
Okay, thank you.
go ahead, please.
In the bylaws.
I'm sorry.
For people to vote, because then we might actually be able to get our 245 household votes if we sent it in by mail. Is,
The proxies are
does it
not.
state that we have to be in person? So we could send out by mail and vote by mail.
yeah, it would be in the form of,
Yes, like my homeowner who wanted me to show up because her son had surgery, she was not able to show, so she gave me a piece of paper and said, go vote for me.
Like, she's the agent in charge. of
I'm a
her
representative of a lot.
But we can have a signature, or if a proxy needed to sign, the proxy could sign and send in a letter stating that they are the legal proxy, or.
So next year, so next year,
we can look into that.
so next year, if you want a quorum, all of y'all need to show up again. In addition to that, you need to say, next door neighbor, give me your proxy, next door neighbor, give me your proxy.
Is there only one meeting a year?
Yeah, it's the annual.
There's an annual meeting. There are special meetings, but if there's ever gonna be a special meeting, you'll get a notice about it that says, hey, we're having a special meeting for X purpose.
And if we were to get a quorum, we can call our own meeting and notify them of that.
Can anything be changed today? Can you guys change anything? Like basic things, like.
What do you
pool-
want changed?
Yeah, okay, so basic things that a lot of people have problems with, like pool, like the pool attendants, or.
What
or-
specifically that's a board issue?
Well, that's what I'm asking, is can you guys change stuff that we aren't happy about that wouldn't necessarily need to be voted on?
Let me hear-
Okay, so,
yeah, I wanna hear what you, what do you
like
have to say
the
about it?
people sitting inside the gate at the pool, we've had lots of issues of them yelling at people and telling people what they can and cannot do. Well, they're not certified lifeguards, they're not wearing a uniform, they're not wearing this, however, they are there to check people in, which we have no problem with.
But,
Can they
no, they're beyond checking people in.
Oh,
There are the rules and regulations.
Okay, I
that they get
understand,
to
I
enforce.
understand.
Okay.
However, I'm a grown-ass adult, I have my kids, a 17-year-old does not need to be telling me that my kid cannot be picked up.
Cannot
Okay?
be what?
So there's things, you don't attend our pool, so you wouldn't know.
I do.
Okay, so you guys, the people that live here,
So that's
what
my
we have
clarification,
issues
I
with
know.
is that they are taking, the girl was writing down what every homeowner was doing wrong in a book and had it in her personal book. That is not.
If she was writing down what you
Can
were
you
doing
stop,
wrong.
please? Can I finish? Can I finish? You do not live here.
Yeah, let her
I am asking a board to fix a simple issue that a lot of people here have, which is simple, regular things. Can you guys change? That's all I wanna know is can you change the things?
I
Do
can
you
answer, I know what a
not follow
problem
the
is.
rules? What's the rules? What's being
It's not the
stated?
rules, I'm saying, if they are in charge of being a lifeguard, then we need to have a certified lifeguard.
They're not a
They're there
lifeguard.
to, okay, so they can sit outside of the gate and check people in legally, right? But what I'm asking, it doesn't matter what my issue is, I'm just asking, can things be changed? Because we can't get a quorum, can you guys change things that we have issues with?
Yes.
Yes, as far as the pool, I think I have an idea what you're talking about. People taking kids and tossing them.
No.
No, that's not, because that's been an issue. I have read the state regulations on pools. And one of the things our attendants do is enforce basic safety rules. That's part of their employment. And most people don't realize it, and I didn't realize the fine print, and I've also checked with the rec center, that in our pool, the way it's designed, there's no diving. And that includes even jumping in, and even, because my own brother did it to my granddaughter, and I went, you can't do that. Picking up the child and just tossing it. That's considered by the state of Georgia
Not okay.
as diving,
Okay.
believe it or not. And I mean, I grew up doing that.
Okay.
But there have been so many lawsuits, so there's very specifics. And so we have asked the attendants to enforce safety rules just so people are safe. I personally myself in high school thought I was a smart ass and decided I was going to dive without using my hands in our pool. And I hit my head and got a concussion. You know, not smart, but I was 16, I knew everything.
Are they certified? Are all of our check-in?
They're not certified as lifeguards, they
Okay,
cannot
and
go in.
maybe if they're gonna enforce our laws, can you guys, because the girl freaked out when a little kid drowned. I was a pool manager for 15 years. 15 years. And everybody had to be certified. Whether or not it was a cleaning boy, whether or not it was our chemical person,
You
everybody
mean
was
certified in life-saving?
And yes,
and basic,
in case of emergency, yes.
basic things. Well, that's something we could look into.
If they're gonna tell us what they can and cannot do, then they should be certified.
Can you be there next summer to help out with the pool?
I mean, me?
Yes, you.
No, I have kids.
So what?
It's in the law,
Bring
we're
us-
not allowed to have our kids, that's always the thing.
So
I wanted
what?
to do it,
We
but
need
I don't have
people
kids.
like you that know the rules, know everything.
And also, okay, one quick thing, would you guys
So
do,
what?
a lot of people, I don't really have a problem with the method, but a lot of people do want like the key card thing. Would that be something you guys would be able to change, or would it be a vote?
It's a 30-year-old pool.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Okay, it's a 30-year-old
No,
pool.
her question was about whether or not there's gonna be a key card.
Like, can you guys change stuff that we're not happy about without us voting on it?
We have investigated the key card.
Okay.
And it did not, there was a lot of issues that we tried to overcome. People in clothing in the pool, it messes up the pumps. People coming in that haven't paid their dues.
You can shut off the key card.
Yeah, we should.
That's easy.
But that doesn't stop,
Many
yeah.
times.
You still have an attendant there who's curious to use the pool. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question, what about the bathrooms that are locked constantly every time when we wanna go to the park or the pool? We would have to leave and go to home and use the bathroom when we should be able to use the bathrooms at the
The whole
HOA.
area is closed, right?
Yeah, it's locked off.
And a lot of times that's due to vandalism.
Put cameras.
There are cameras.
Yeah,
Didn't use them.
We have had,
That's
So we
security.
can use
Just
that.
stop that.
I shouldn't have to leave to go home and use the bathroom when there's bathrooms right there.
well, if we could stop
Yes.
from vandalizing, we had the picnic tables thrown into the pool.
Could we just use key fobs for the bathroom as well?
Yeah, if you have a key card for the
Yeah.
pool, you could use it
I
for the
mean, you got
bathroom.
almost a 50,000.
And that could track who's going in and out.
We're asking if you can do what we want.
The pool is $1 million. Million.
We're looking at a
You
lot
have
of
to
money.
get rid of it.
This pool is at the end of its life cycle, so this pool has to be replaced soon. It's gonna be within the next 5, 6, 7 years probably, maybe 10. We might get 10 more years out of it. But it's gonna cost us a lot of money to maintain it until that point. But once we do get to that point, it's gonna be a hefty cost, and it's gonna assess every homeowner in Sugarville. They're gonna have to pay an extra assessment to get that pool replaced.
Can you close the pool for 6 months and do like the resurfacing the 1 year so we don't have to pay for the circulation and the
We've
chemicals?
resurfaced that thing several times. How many times we've that thing's been resurfaced now?
Well, twice that I know of, but the issue is we're having, in the fall, we realized our water bill was extraordinarily high. And so we had the leak finders come out, and we did have a leak, there was a leak at the right-hand side, okay? And so we had that leak fixed. That's in the piping underneath the pool. So, I mean, we've got a 30-year-old pool. Right now, our water, we've been monitoring the water, everything's fine. So we're hoping that we're good right now. We have new pool contractors, but because of the expense of maintaining the pool with the chemicals, and I've got that broken down, how much we paid for that, we're spending a lot to maintain the pool because it is old.
That's what I'm asking, is if you can drain it for the 6 months that it's closed.
You can't drain it, it'll collapse.
It'll pump right up.
So you can't like lower it and so you like
So can
cover
we
it or
do-
something so we don't have to pay for those 6, because a lot of people are getting mad that we have to pay for it year round if they can't use it year round.
That's a very large pool, a lot of water. We can't drain it because it would collapse.
It has to be chemically treated. We have to stay on
to
the,
get it
yeah,
back.
we're not chemically treating it, we're not, since the people aren't in there, and, but it can be anything, it can be rain, it can be the ducks, anything can change the level. But we have, that's what happens, and why the black algae wasn't in it, what got so undone because the former person was not chemically treating the pool. So we are maintaining that, and we're keeping that at bay. And that's the best that we can do, and we have to chemically treat it in order to fight it. So.
You've already moved past that.
Yes, ma'am, hold on before you guys.
So one of my pet peeves about the whole thing is that the key card would alleviate is I had guests come down. She was one of the goals, and I was not allowed to bring my guests to the pool, sign them in, and leave. Mind you, one of the guests was an adult and her daughter. That's why they're staying at my house, and you have my name. You would be able to contact me if something happened. That's
That's a standard policy. I mean, that, my understanding is the standard policy is that an owner needs to be with them. Just like you go to any other
Okay, but if they
place,
just leave and go use the
an owner
bathroom,
needs
they
to be
wait.
with them.
what place?
Sure, question quicker than hers.
I've never got anyone to actually know.
We'll go ask her if hers is quicker.
You go right
She
ahead.
doesn't know, she doesn't know if it's good.
Mine was just to sort of circle back to the key fob issue, especially, you know, with families talking about going to the park and using the restrooms and discussing vandalism. Just as a teacher background, like I don't believe in punishing a whole group of people because some bad eggs. So if there are security cameras there and there are key fobs, wouldn't you be able to tell, like if they scan in to use the bathroom or the pool even, you would sort of be able to tell then who maybe was in that vicinity in that area to figure out who was doing the wrong
We
thing.
will look at that, we're writing it down, we're gonna look at that to see if we can do that for
We've
the
had a tough
bathroom
time with
area.
police.
The pool is gonna be a different issue, but we'll look into
For
that. We'll
bathrooms
write
at
it
least.
down.
You can also
We
use
just
the
had a
for
tough
the-
time
Hold on,
getting
before I get to you.
all of it.
Hi, I just had a few questions just to follow up on some of the pool things. Just to piggyback off of this lady's questions, I'm Caitlin, I'm at 205 Matthews Ridge.
Hey, Caitlin.
Hi. Been a lifeguard since I was about half my life, so 15 years, and then I have a background in aquatics. Question, why aren't they lifeguards? Is there something in terms of liability that we can't do? Because I saw that we have a general insurance thing, or like a line item, and I'm also a licensed insurance agent in Georgia, so I'm trying to figure out what is our insurance going to. Can we also get that breakdown? Can we also please have distribution copies of our policy so we can see our limits? Because if they're being employed, they would still be covered by workers' comp and things like that. So what's the difference there in terms of hiring people who are actually lifeguards who could help with that?
A lifeguard. Huge difference.
So a lifeguard lifeguard can't be checking people in, so we'd have to have 2 people. We'd have to have that lifeguard, and then we'd have the pool attendant. So it's really a cost thing that we're trying to trickle down.
Okay, so if we're not gonna have a lifeguard because they can't check people in, and maybe we have a key fob, can we please use the pool year round, or can we have somebody, and I understand we have a management group, but can we have, I mean, this is the same size.
Heated, you know.
I'm sorry?
That pool is not heated, you know. It's not cold.
I mean, it's hot, but so having been in a,
I think people would be very happy with the key fob for the pool, the bathrooms, the tennis.
no, I know, I'm just waiting for him to, because I know he was talking to people next to him. So for those people who would like to use it year round, like I'm a swimmer, I swim laps, it's warm enough today, I was sweating, I could have gone out and swam laps. Could we use it year round? Could we have a management company who could let swim teams like rent it out? Can we rent the, like, I mean, there's so much use that we could get out of it if we're going to just have attendants, no lifeguards. I understand if you don't want to have the extra, but if we're gonna look at cost, I mean, labor is the highest cost that you have at a business.
All right, so there's several issues, right? We're gonna look into that and see if we can do that.
Okay.
So it's really in maintaining the chemical thing for us, right? Because if we shut down in October, now we're gonna have to go further maintaining chemicals. Chemicals are expensive, right?
It doesn't cost that much more.
Granted, we may not need a pool attendant if you're on a list and we know you're going. There may be some things we may be able to do, but we're gonna have to figure that out.
Okay, who can I contact to bring like a little bit, like, because I'm happy to organize just our ideas on it, and then when we have a finalized thing, we could send it to you.
Sugar Mill website. Go to the Sugar Mill website.
Okay,
write a letter to
and then,
the
so should I email them as well
Email the
for
board.
distribution policies?
Email the board of directors.
Okay, thank you,
Not
and then,
management.
one last statement from me, and then I'm gonna sit down for a bit. I understand that there's only 25 copies of that breakdown. I'm happy to take one. I have a scanner at home. If you need a copy and there's none left, please come to me. I'll write down your email. I'll send it to you. Okay? So, okay. That's it. Thank you.
Where is the legal, or the previous legal in the pool?
It's on the right-hand side.
Of what?
The pool.
Like the actual,
The piping for the filtration system on the right-hand side had a leak.
so it was piping that was in the ground?
Yes.
So there was no way to know? Right. It wasn't like the contractor neglected?
No, it was age.
It was age.
It was age, okay.
Plastic pipes are gonna get us all.
I do need to.
I have a recording, so if you miss something important.
We're hearing a lot of like, email the board, go on the page, send a message to the board. I have an issue with that because I've contacted through the webpage, because that's what I was told to do when we moved in this summer, and I have not heard back. So for me, there's a big communication issue. Is there a way I can get an email, so if we have an issue, I can email somebody? Because when I do it on the page, I don't hear back.
So that's probably a good question, because when I see a lot of emails, I can't open them, I can't read them, I can't see them.
And we've got a problem, the bots have attacked it and we get at least from Russia, all these, emails. And I do check to make sure it's not a real person and because it's written in Russia, I figure it's not one of y'all.
So do we have like a sugar mill email that we can email our issues? Since we're not hearing back from the office.
What if, we have a Sugar Mill board email?
Yeah.
That's what we need.
It's on the website.
But that email is it Sugar Mill Board at TDS? No. I know it's a form. It's Board of Directors. Sugar Mill Board of Directors or just Board of Directors?
But it filters through the website.
Yeah. It's set up though to send out that, so we can get the email.
I know Deb gets inundated, that she's the only person I ever knew. I didn't even know who the board people were or anything. But should we send messages to you? so that you can maybe take some of the burden off of her, because if it's only one person doing everything, she's inundated.
When you go to the Sugar Mill website and you scroll down, it says contact us, and you fill it in. And if that's not working and you're not getting a response, then we need to let our webmaster know to check the link, because we've had issues before. He said they were fixed, and if they're not fixed, we need to know about it.
But we don't know what we don't know.
So it was October 10th that I sent my concern via the webpage.
Okay, can we get an email that doesn't go through this, that is a board email?
Well, that's TBS.net.
No, but is there
No, that goes
another
to
one?
you. No.
TBS.net will not go through your website. It
Right.
will not go through the website.
But that's what she's saying.
Not board of directors.
Yeah, but what she's saying is it's all through the board of directors and the website sends it, which is obviously not working. But what I'm trying to say is, can we set up another web address, or I'm sorry, email address for Sugar Mill Board of Directors, BOD?
Gmail.com.
But then we don't have to have access to it.
Right. But you can direct.
Yeah, you set up a distribution.
If y'all have had so many problems with your website, have y'all done research on maybe developing a new website?
We didn't know we were having problems with the website.
You just said
So,
you have to fix it.
so I thought that the social committee, is that your position?
Advisory committee.
Advisory committee, I thought that you just said that we would have problems in the past.
Yeah, it was
So-
a couple years ago.
So now that y'all do know that there are issues with the website, there are other options that you could use. I know one of them is called HOA Express.
Well, and two, with this new,
And
HOA.
it's considerably cheaper.
Yeah, but with this new system that we're setting up,
With what company again?
Pay HOA.
Pay HOA, we should be able to get more reliable, and we will definitely check into that. Because we want, we don't, like y'all said, we don't know what we don't know.
Have y'all signed a contract with Pay HOA?
Yeah, we've already done it. And we did our
Well,
research.
I'm saying, if you haven't signed a contract, if it's only just been approved by y'all, I would highly suggest looking at HOA Express. It's top notch, and it's way cheaper than what y'all have going on right now.
What would you mean, what we have going on?
Well, she's saying that you pay $1,200 a year for HOA, Pay HOA,
No.
or your website.
The budget that we got sent, that's what's listed for web expenses.
$1,200 for the year.
All I'm saying is that you hear your people saying that there's an issue with the website. I would highly recommend, if you haven't signed a contract with this company, for the board to look into HOA Express.
I love that recommendation.
It's online and it allows you to do blast email because TDS sucks.
Question, sir. I might be hearing this wrong, but based on what I know from past experience, because I'm in the pool right now, what I'm hearing is, when it comes time to renew the pool, the board's gonna decide to do a new pool, and I'm gonna build later.
Yeah. No.
It's gonna be online. It's only gonna be about 20 grand for you.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Based on my use and access to the pool, I'm not willing to do it.
Right, most people are the same way, right? Most people are the same way.
And another question I had was, a couple of years ago, we discussed the storage area that we have for boats and RVs.
Yeah.
Make use of that, whatever happened to that.
Well, that was something the advisory committee was supposed to look into and make recommendations, and I didn't have a committee, so we didn't get anything done. If you my committee, I would gladly take more people.
The biggest issue was vandalism in there. We couldn't keep people out, right? They were vandalizing, and then people just leaving stuff in there to rot. That was the issue. It became too much for the board to manage, so we did away with it. All right, there's a lot of other avenues out in town that people can use. If the community wants to get together and say, hey, maybe we can manage this, sure, bring it up to us and we'll see if we can go that route.
But for right now, this
But for right now, the decision, yes, correct.
I think, can I ask a quick question? Just a quick question, mine will be short. What I'm getting here is you never get a quorum, so the board makes the decisions. Is that correct?
We
Yes.
do not make decisions. We only make decisions within our covenants.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you're making, if their budget has to be passed now, you can't vote on it, so you're gonna make that decision. That's what I'm saying, I'm sorry. If you don't have a quorum, the board makes the decision.
Chicken
I can address that, in the covenants and the bylaws, the whole purpose of a board of directors is to conduct the business of the association. And they have to make decisions. Everybody can't vote on day-to-day decisions. It's their responsibility to make the decisions concerning all of our common areas, and we have quite a few common areas. And on the day-to-day maintenance of those and everything that goes on, the board does that, that's the purpose of the board, okay? Now, when you're asking about that, about making the decision, when, the budget, if there is a need to increase the budget because of things like the pool maintenance going up $25,000, because of the chemical cost and that type of thing, the board does have the authority to raise the annual assessment by 5% a year without a vote. But everything's been presented to y'all, and it's a little bit under $22 a year is all that's been added to the budget in order to cover the expenses that we know we have because of chemical costs and labor costs and everything to do with the maintenance of.
I think that $22 was not bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, to say that in the covenants, if it gets to the point that we've never had a special assessment ever against anybody, so it's in the bylaws, it's in the covenants that are recorded that went to each of you when you bought your house. It's in the deed. And if there does have to be a major repair made, we are working diligently to build up our contingency fund. We right now have $200,000 saved in our contingency fund, which will not even touch a new pool. So every year we budget to try to transfer more money to that account, plus we're trying to collect all the delinquencies so that we can build up that account. So here's what we're hoping. We're hoping the pool doesn't give out before the contingency fund is built up, so we can take care of what we need to with the pool. But if we do have to at some point assess the difference, if the board has to make that decision, then legally each owner will be responsible for their share of the assessment.
Now, if it's over the 5% or whatever, is there a vote on it?
If the budget, if it's over 5%, if it's under 5%, the board can make the decision that, look, we've got these expenses, we know we've got them, so we can do it for an assessment.
But if it's over that, if you're gonna have an assessment, do we vote on it, or can the board just pass it?
I'm not really sure what we would do about that, Casey. Well, we've never had it, I don't know.
Luckily, that issue hasn't come up yet.
Yeah, we
And that would be one of those things that we need to make a look. All right, let's go. Quick round. One.
No.
Nope.
Don't
Not
ask
you.
me for a quick
You.
round.
Me?
Yeah, quick.
I want to be a representative for Mill Creek, and my idea. So obviously we get about, it's a month turnaround to get letters in. Average is what since the mail out on November 3rd. So my recommendation to the director of the boards, maybe have a official date of a vote, like the middle of the year of next year. 6 months should be a plethora amount of time to reach all the homeowners, and we can actually make a quorum vote.
So you're saying, let's set a time that's annual, that everybody knows, like, just like the Super Bowls, like the second Tuesday in February.
No,
Like,
not at all.
okay,
That's
like-
not what I'm saying. I'm saying for this vote, this specific vote is to pass easier voting practices via the website. that we've been getting, and you said January at a minimum, right?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping
So,
to have it all
so
over.
that's my advice to the director of rewards.
Excellent recommendation, we will take it under advisement. Ma'am?
I just have, this is a question completely, nothing we've talked about. It's about the compliance enforcement expense. And, on this, we got a letter like last year about the most common infractions. And the number one was like the maintenance and the exterior of homes and things. What are the steps? Like, in all these, the major infractions, like, when you're out walking and you see someone, there's 3 boats in my neighborhood that's been
Gotcha.
there.
I'll tell you exactly what happens. All right, sorry, finish
Okay,
your
but
question.
these 2 of the boats have been there for over 8 months. One of the boats, we just got brand new neighbors 3 months ago, and first thing they did was move in a boat, and I'm sure it's because the other boats are there. There's houses in Sugar Mill and the HOA Park that's got boards over their windows. And I've lived here for 3 years, that same house has had boards. There's houses that's got air conditioners that we're not supposed to have. And I mean, these are, I walk my dog every single day and I see these infractions. So if you're out walking and you see the boat that's been there for 8 months, what are the steps that are done? So that, you know, what's the, you notify them and then.
They take
Is
pictures of
anybody
them.
listening to my question?
Yes.
So if you walk by in that boat and you notify them, and if that boat's not moved in a certain amount of time, then what happens?
All right, great question. All right, so you see an infraction in your neighborhood, something that's against the covenants. You report. Yes, great. Like, get it in print, send it in so that we can say, all right, you received this complaint. We go out and we say, hey, you know, please move your boat. It shouldn't be here. They deny us. Then we get to move forward with the legal process. So yes, absolutely, send the email, do your thing, and, you know, complain on your neighbor, and we're happy to.
I'm not complaining on my neighbors. These are the infractions that were sent out by the HOA.
I'm not saying complaining wrongfully, I'm saying
I know,
complain on your neighbor because they're doing the wrong thing.
But how
I'm
many
sorry, I
times-
have a weird way of saying that.
Okay, but
I think, yay, like, let's get the neighborhood the way we want it
But
to
I'm saying,
be.
I've lived here for 3 years, and it's the same houses.
How many emails have you sent to the board about?
They don't get that. They don't get it.
They don't want it.
I've sent emails to them. I have sent pictures.
I also think a lot of our problems, we're asking Deb questions and we're getting you, like, no, people, like, we're asking the manager things and then we're getting you.
Because she does the legal work.
She just asked, what does Deb do when she walks, and I didn't hear anything,
But
like,
you know what,
I'm just
Deb?
saying, she's asking her question. She's not getting.
She's getting paid enough money to do it. That's for sure.
I don't want you to answer mine, I want you to answer
But
her.
when I'm walking, I can say, that house, there's a house over in McIntosh that's been abandoned for 3 years. Abandoned. There's notes on the door, you can't see the house. So, and I know Deb walks over there 3 years.
That is the board's responsibility to take care of.
You know, and like I said, and I mean, so you notify the people, but then if they don't do it, then.
We have to sue them.
Then we have to sue them, and it costs the association money. A lot of money.
Then why do we have the law? I mean, if we're not gonna.
That's the
But if we're not
law.
gonna follow up on like every single person that moves in, whether you're.
When you say follow up, what do you mean? Like, do I go and I tow their boat away?
How do you fix the problem?
Like, there's no other solution other than filing suit.
There can't be a fine, I mean, there can't be a fine or.
There is fines, there's liens on properties. When it gets to the lawyer level, the lawyer puts liens on the property.
But then you don't get
But
that
if
until.
they don't sell their house for 30 years, you're not gonna collect on that lien.
Wait, so,
But it says right here, the board may authorize maintenance at the expense of the homeowner.
But at the expense, all right.
Stop clapping at her.
No, but at the expense. I'm sorry.
I mean, she's
Oh, no,
asking a
no, no,
question,
I'm sorry.
And people, I mean, these are people's houses.
I know, and I'm trying to explain, no, I appreciate, no, I appreciate
But we
that,
get
thank you,
this
I'm
letter
sorry.
and say, do this.
I don't need to do
So
that.
we have
I'm
a
saying,
street and then.
when we say, okay, at the expense of the homeowner, what does the expense of the homeowner mean?
They put a lien on the house,
You
and when
put
they
a
sell the
lien on
house.
the house.
Yes.
And it's not until they sell the house that anything can be done.
So why even have?
Exactly. That's better than nothing.
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
What is the sue process? Can you walk us through the sue process?
Absolutely.
So what is your sue process?
It's $250 just to walk into Superior Court.
And
that's not counting for a lawyer. That's literally the cost of the court saying.
So what court, magistrate court?
Superior.
Superior. For an abandoned house, is that what?
No, it's any infraction. So like you said, if it's directly contrary to the covenant, and the board is notified, they send a notice to the homeowner, they get, I think it's anywhere from 30 to 60 days in accordance with the covenant to take action. If they take no action, at that point it goes to a legal standpoint, then it goes from management to the lawyer then files the suit, puts it into court, and then at that point, at the end, yes, costs money, and at the end, the only way they can collect on that is they put a lien on the property.
It's really frustrating. I'm telling you right now.
There's no consequence for not following this.
No, there is a consequence.
There's not.
There's a lien filed against their house.
There's not a consequence.
In the meantime, we live with that.
So what is your actual issue?
That half of the houses look like shit around
Okay,
here.
that's their
and,
houses, right?
You know,
We can't change other people's houses. Do our houses look good? Yes, as long as
That's
our
right.
houses
Yes,
look
and then it
good.
affects
All we can do is be a good neighbor, be a good neighbor, and go
when you
ask.
move in, it says, this is what you have to do.
But be a good neighbor and go ask these people,
I
hey.
have.
And then what kind of explanation do
You
you
know,
get?
then that's why we pay someone.
Well, no. You
Yes,
don't
yes,
pay us to go
We
maintain
have a property
somebody's
manager.
property.
No, I'm not letting you. We
That's
have a
not what you
property
do.
manager to maintain
We
the
are a
property.
community, we police our own community, we police our own neighborhoods.
Then we don't
It's
need
up
her.
Listen, it's beyond what she can do, all right? Do you like her? Yes. People have issues with her because she's the management, but she's only enforcing what the board tells her to do. Right? She's
Well,
working
then you
for
let
us.
her enforce.
No, let me.
There's
You
a lot of
walk
property.
There's a basketball. There's
She
a
knows
basketball
every
hoop.
property that you're talking about, she knows about.
Can I please tell you that it is a grave concern? But the grave concern is that everybody, what you have in your hand, I established so that people would know, whenever you buy a house in here, there are 3 HOA documents that the attorneys are to give you. One is a letter of welcome, which tells you about our website and to get a RAC form before you make any changes, because I don't get the information for about 2 weeks that the property has sold. The form that I see that you have in your hands, we're asking everybody to sign that. It's a condensed version of the covenants, correct? It's not the full thing, it's a
Well, no,
condensed version.
it's just a summary that, Exhibit C, with
Right.
the most common things.
Right. And then what happens is, that's proof that we have that, you know, even though I think that people should read all the covenants during their due diligence period and be aware that they're buying into an association and what the rules are, you don't. A lot of people don't. But here's what the problem is. The majority of the people, it's your responsibility, if you own the property, to abide by the covenants. And when they don't, and especially after COVID, when the courts closed, letter after letter after letter, and then finally we've got some on Dunbar that the attorney is gonna be taking them to court because they do, you know, there's several that they have exhausted all means. But now, can we go in and fix up a house that is dilapidated why would we spend our money on that? You know, like a foreclosed house.
It would only be like mowing.
Yeah, now we
Oh,
do
yeah,
the
but-
mowing,
but
we
why-
do the mowing, like if there's an abandoned house, to try to, please let me know if there's one that's abandoned and nobody's there. The
606
grass is growing,
Macintosh.
we'll take care of that. Do I?
606 Macintosh.
Okay, I think I know who manages that one, and anyway, it needs, if the yard needs to be cut, then yes, we do that and we assess it against them. You know, as an assessment, whatever that charge is, we do assess that.
So, but it's like this new homeowner that came in and put the boat's been there for 3 months.
I have to get rid of that.
So,
If you have any insights, just let us know.
But there is a process, I also wanna tell you.
Wait, what is that process? I'm sorry, I think that was the original question. What is the
Okay,
process? But
okay.
before suit, because we understand eventually there's a sewage and a lien.
Okay, they get a letter, they get a notice, they get a letter. And, sometimes a phone call, and then if it's managed, I'll send the management company an email concerning the property. We just had a situation over on, McQueen, where, anyway, that's.
What's the
So we
normal
work with
time
the
frame for
management
this?
company, But the owner is notified as well.
Okay, what's the normal time frame for this?
Well, usually the.
Or
first
average.
thing- that just depends on what the situation is. If somebody's had a death in the family.
Of course, I understand there's things like that, but I think maybe what she's also wondering, and this is me just guessing, what she should be expecting in terms of responsiveness, so that way she doesn't feel like you're not doing anything.
We realize, when I can go to that, we realize, the board has realized that it's obvious that it's upsetting everybody. I live in Sugar Mill, it's upsetting to me that I maintain my property and people aren't. So it is above and beyond the scope of what, I would be going and taking pictures of houses 24 hours a day. So we have somebody who has been helping us, but she has been ill. And we are looking for somebody who will do that while she's recovering, to help with that. But what the process is, we send the letter, and then we send it certified, but if you don't get any response, then we have to end up taking it to court.
Okay.
Because there's nothing in our covenants.
We try not to because it costs a lot.
I understand.
And a lot of military, and if they're military,
Oh,
then we
yeah.
wanna be
If
sure
they're
that
military
they're
or bank
not
robbers.
away.
Well, and let's say I go to replace the lien.
I understand that you have to do like a military form where you have to let them know that you know that they're in military or not. But I'm really curious, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm really curious about the suing aspect. So you place a lien on the property, I'm guessing that you charge the homeowner the $25 filing fee. And do you do that, you charge $50 for the release as well?
Well, they pay all the legal costs on top of the lien.
Okay, so why isn't, since you're spending, I'm putting people on the spot now, but since you're spending so much money on management, why are you not asking for your management to support you with documentation to go to magistrate court, which is,
She does.
so why are, in case not closed, that was disrespectful, why isn't more results happening from magistrate level versus going all the way up to hiring a lawyer for suits?
We turn it to the attorney.
You don't have to have an attorney.
No, it's the same cost.
No, ma'am.
Well, as far as getting the payment.
There's a difference between infractions and,
Once you place
due
a lien on a property, you can take that lien and go to magistrate court. It's $94 to file with the magistrate court. You as a board member can represent these people because you're supposed to be representing your association. So why isn't management supporting you with the documentation to go to magistrate court?
Liens are equitable, and equitable relief is only granted in Superior Court. So liens can only be dealt with in Superior Court, so if you have.
That's not true.
And this is not a full-time job.
And I understand that y'all are volunteers, the only person who truly gets paid are the lawyers and management, but what I'm saying is, if you do your research, if you place a lien on the property and charge the $50 or the $25 to file, and then the $25 to release is only $94, and you as a board member can represent your community instead of spending so much money on.
I'm sorry.
She's been waiting a very long time.
A long time. Very long
Hold on,
time.
guys, I'm gonna get to you.
Plus we have to leave. This takes too long. I'm Victoria, I live at 100 Mariana.
Hey,
I just have a
Victoria.
question. So since we don't get to quorum, cool, we'll figure this out, people, we will. You're stepping down. Who's taking y'all's position?
They get to appoint them.
So
No,
that's-
we have 2 applications.
Okay, so
Okay,
who are they?
Who's voting on? And where did the application come from?
Yeah,
Where-
online, I did hear that, they got them online, you gotta go to the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, and that's as of which date?
Not me.
Yeah. When do
As
they?
of the meeting. The nominating committee has to.
You like that?
They have a nominating committee. The nominating committee reviews whatever, applications they have. And then they recommend to the board who to have, and then we can appoint them, because we don't have a vote
Right.
to do it.
Yeah. I got that. I was asking, like, so could we know
Who?
who your 2
Oh,
are?
yeah.
Cause
One is Linda Williams, she used to be on city council, and one is Melissa Camera.
are they here?
Melissa just had to leave. She was on my advisory committee and has asked to be a board member. It's in the letter, and I know y'all didn't get it, but I think somewhere on the website, it's always, the application is there. You can submit it at any time of the year. You know, and we had one person a couple years ago submit it, there wasn't an opening. There's an opening now, and that person cannot take it at this time. So, I mean, you could submit an application, and if there's not a position available, we can hold on to it till somebody else is rotating off. You know.
Another quick question. The minutes, I guess you're taking notes, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
not official minutes, because it's not an official
Right.
meeting.
Those notes that you take is gonna be available to us anywhere?
It's not a real.
It's not gonna be available.
Can you make?
But they could be really available.
I don't know that.
Who else took notes?
No, we missed it, no.
No, but one second. I'm
Bro,
sorry.
I've been up for like 30 minutes.
I know.
I got no fact to understand what's going on.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
So, like 30 minutes ago, we were talking about money, and it had to do with, payments, okay? And I had a question about, can we send reminders to people to pay their dues?
We do.
I mean, I think a reminder, like, before my due is paid, is what I'm saying. Because like, when I owe my water bill, I get a letter that says, hey, you owe this much this month. Can we get a letter like 30 days before we owe our dues? Because sometimes I'm like, oh crap, it's the fourth quarter, and I didn't pay my dues, which literally just happened. Because I'm not going to the pool, so I'm not like,
I will tell you, there is no legal requirement, but that's a fair, I
I'm asking the
just.
board if they can send those out to us.
It costs $810.
Can you put it on the Facebook page?
What we have been doing is sending, a letter, like the one that just came with what we got, that tells you your quarterly payments. And you put that with your payment, check it off, when we get on your portal, it will be right there. Now, on our official Facebook page, we do post a reminder there.
Yeah.
And,
You did remind me, because so with the portal, that was my other question, I forgot it. Portal, can the portal send an email to the homeowner?
Yes.
And remind you, I can't send that.
Okay, that's what we part of it. You send notices.
Okay, so my second question, I'm not done. The sidewalks, not the sidewalks that are owned by homeowners, I'm talking about the sidewalks that are over by, like, the other side, that have all the trees, and it's run over a whole bunch. Me and my kids try to ride bikes there all the time, and we have to go on the road, especially now that there's a giant hole in all those cones, and that's been there for months. All summer, my kids have to ride their bikes on the street there, and it's freaking unsafe. And I just don't understand why we have so much money, and we're all paying so much money
because those belong to the city, and it's up to the city to maintain the sidewalks. No, we're not a gated community, the city is responsible for the sidewalks, and we have met with them.
Please call the city.
Yes, please call
All
the
the
city.
city.
No, for real,
No good.
we're very frustrated by that.
Yes,
You
because
still
Like,
have
we
barriers
agree with
placed
you.
out
Oh,
there
I
in
know, I see
the
the
cold.
corners every day, yep, every time we go for a bike ride.
Yeah, no, it's very frustrating.
510, 4,000.
fill in a little bit
Call,
on.
call, call.
Option one.
Okay, sorry.
All every week.
Gentleman in front.
Is this HOA governed by the Georgia Property Owners Association Act?
You're a non-POA, I believe. I think they're a non-POA. Sorry. I'd be
The
sorry.
city is no good.
I have a simple request. Can the 2 benches by the pool be put back? The ones, somebody asked me to mention it, they are an elder couple and teenagers used to go down there and sit, people would sit there and watch their kids fish, they got taken away, I guess when you resurface them. It's just the 2 simple benches, like nothing's fancy, like it could be a simple, like,
On the deck?
My memory
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
no,
outside
and I
there.
don't see any.
yeah, like in between the pool and the lake, people like.
We'll have to chain them down, otherwise they will end
I'd
up
like
in
to
the lake
request
of
also
pool.
to change
This
the
confirmation.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for sitting up there and listening to everything that we've done. Right, because it does take a lot, but, we asked a question earlier about, I think it was just this gentleman right in front of me, asked a question about if we get the amount of people that we need for a quorum, can we call the board to a meeting? Okay, because if we can, we can't, okay, so.
That's Georgia law.
Okay, so if we do that, and that's on us, right? That's on us to get out to the homeowners that are around you in your
I think it's
neighborhood.
10%, like, needs to certify to the secretary they want a meeting. That's my memory.
Yeah, well, I just wanna know so that, either one, we set a date here for when the next board is gonna be, when the next meeting. So we set one and we don't do it 10 days before the meeting, 'cause that leaves no time to get anybody together.
And not when there's a big parade downtown.
Yeah.
Right.
But do we know what we wanna vote on?
That's the thing, can you know what you wanna
What
vote
do
on?
we
Well, we've
wanna
already
change?
talked about changing the bylaws and changing
Changing the bylaws, what part of them?
That-
Well, we wanna change the number required to be able to be at this meeting to vote. And if it's homeowners that are not here and they have no vested interest, right, because they're a rental property, then they shouldn't be counted. They should not be counted, because they are rental property.
That might be not good because, I mean, they own that piece of property. I don't think that would be legally right.
Yeah, but I mean, if the homeowner lives in California and they're not here to manage, they've got a management company that is managing that property, then
I
it's
agree.
on that management
Or
company.
maybe we can get a blanket proxy from them. Is that possible? To get a blanket proxy? A long-lasting proxy, a proxy?
Not a long,
that
no proxy can last longer than the next annual meeting.
So it can only last a year, right?
So if we set a meeting date for 3 months, that's enough time for us to get out in our neighborhoods and get the number of people. And 1, 2, we're then gonna come back to numbers of, hey, these 15 houses that are in our neighborhood are all rentals.
Okay.
So, yeah, we
There's a
can get
whole
those.
revision that needs to be changed. The bylaws need to be rewritten.
And they need legal wording.
Right, but we need people to
We
help
have a
us
lawyer.
with that.
So Deb, you said you had a.
We need writers.
We have a lawyer, so,
living here.
that's not only representing the HOA, which we're a part of, but she's supposed to be doing the work for us.
Casey, isn't that correct that if you own the deed, you are responsible whether you.
Anybody
reach the
who
property or not?
takes a property is taking it subject to the declaration. Whether or not they actually read them or not, it is, you're considered giving, constructive notice by purchasing the property. So if you buy a property within Sugar Mill, it's got the covenants over it, you're subject to them. There's no notice that needs to be given to you. You don't need to be told that you're violating anything. Like, you are just subject to those covenants.
Like buyers beware.
But, you know, but it's on the, I mean, it's there, it's on the title.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's at all the entrances, and it should be something that you do during your due diligence period. You know,
Oh,
when you're buying
absolutely.
a house.
So how many homeowners actually, out of those 700, I know you said you had the numbers.
I have, and I would say about a third of the houses are rentals.
So about a third,
At least
okay.
a third. Without, that's just going.
But yeah, okay.
But, I mean, don't assume that the ones that you're looking at that need attention are.
No, but I'm just saying,
rentals.
if there's 2/3 of those 728 that we can knock on doors and say, do you have a proxy? Or, you know, can you find a proxy? Can you come to the meeting? You know,
Absolutely.
so we have the ability, just within our community, we have the possibility to have a quorum.
And then to make a change
Right.
in what your quorum could be. Maybe your
Right.
quorum wants to be 51%.
Right.
Maybe it wants to be like half plus one.
So like we can't reach out to people that's not gonna, if they didn't send in their proxies now, they're not going to. But we have the possibility of knocking on a door. You are the owner. We're having a meeting. Can you come? Okay.
Call a special meeting. It's called a special meeting. It's in your bylaws and your covenants.
Alright, yes ma'am.
Okay, just a point of clarification. If we are all here tonight committed to making a quorum, we're gonna need to knock on doors. There's a thing called CamdenCountyMaps.com. Go on there, if your next door neighbor doesn't live there, you look up there, it gives the address. Mail them a letter. If you don't know them, if you don't have a way of contacting them, go to the website, send them a letter from yourself, send them your Christmas card and say, hey, I'm your neighbor, we need to change some things. Here's a proxy form, here we go. Okay, so we do that, we get the quorum, you know, by God's grace, we get the quorum next time, okay? And we want to make some changes. What is the process like? You know, we're gonna go through this agenda, is that gonna be considered, if we did a special
Yeah,
meeting?
you can't basically recycle this agenda. You need to do a new one. You would call it a special meeting. And a special meeting is only allowed to take votes on the things that are listed in the agenda for the special meeting.
So we develop our own agenda if we call this special meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what about she can help, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, like you said, work with the board, sure. This is not.
Is work the wording and the whole 9 yards, and that has to be what the people see in the agenda.
So to affect real change, we're all gonna have to get together, we're gonna work out these laws, come together and figure out what the heck we're gonna say, what our little agenda's gonna be, we're gonna do all this, it's not even.
I think, if I'm gonna tell you what I think, like, if I were sitting in your seat, that's what I would do. You don't want to try to overhaul the world. What you wanna do is get yourself to a place where you can make change. How do you make change? You have a quorum. How do you have a quorum? You set a different percentage. So you have a special meeting called under the terms of this that says, okay, we're gonna have a special meeting, and you say, here's what I wanna do as far as changing the quorum, and then get the big picture stuff done, like, hey, here's how we're gonna do a quorum. Then you have a meeting, you have a quorum, you have a vote, you get the board in that you wanna have, like, it's probably gonna be the same board, but, you know, either way, think big picture.
Okay, so y'all, pick a date right now, whenever we need to get about it. We can meet at the Weed Hub, cause I work there, we can have the whole side room to ourselves.
Go to the Weed Hub.
But to be serious, like, I mean, I'm not joking, I'm not joking, have to have this.
We'll organize this.
I can, let me tell you exactly what your conditions
And
are.
do you represent
on
us?
this special meeting.
Do you help us? Do you represent us, Ms. Lawyers?
No. No, I represent this board. But I'm also willing to tell you what's in your bylaws, because these are yours.
Hey, you two
Like,
need
this
to
is
know a
yours.
lot. Y'all seem lawyerish. You know a lot of big words.
Could we maybe like make an email chain when we leave, so everybody that's still here, we can sort of get the ball rolling and maybe communicate that way?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, hey, let's do it, like, yeah.
Like a sheet of paper back there and everybody put their name and address and email on there.
Everybody put your email on that piece of paper
Right
right
here, I'll put it
there.
at the back table, and then I'll collect all the email addresses, I'll send one email out tonight with all of the emails on.
Super.
You said you were starting to talk to me.
Yes, I did, don't have.
Long as we-
Can we pick one Facebook, like one HOA Facebook page for all of us to communicate on it?
Chipotle?
Well, I mean, there's multiple. We need a new one though.
So you need 75%, I'm just gonna put that out there. You need 75%.
In good standing, does it clarify good standing or not? Because if you have good standing.
I would take the position, you want them in good standing. if you
Right, well,
can.
because that would help them knock down their numbers.
Yeah.
Is that
And
just,
not less
is that for
than
me or for the back
75% of the votes in each class.
For the back. Oh, for the back? Because I'm about to
No,
leave.
you're fine.
Because I'm about to leave. Oh, got it, yeah, yeah, I can do that. I was gonna say, are we passing and writing? Passing and writing, like, that was a pretty good idea.
That was very good. Everybody's bottleneck back there.
It doesn't.
If you want to.
It does not say in good standing.
But
here.
you would want to take that position if you go to quorum.
Yes. Wait, now that means that then they don't do that, then they could tell us, no, you don't.
I would want 75% of, like, if I were going in, I would want 75% of just the number of ones.
That's 528 people,
Did you say
by the
they
way.
don't have to be in good standing? Is that what you said?
That's kind of insane.
It doesn't say that. In your, like your,
Why do we have to be in good standing to come to the meeting? If we don't have to be in good standing to vote.
oh, no, you have to be in good standing to vote at a meeting.
But to change the bylaws.
You don't have to be in good standing to change the bylaws.
Cause to me, the way it reads is like, I would think you'd wanna be in
Go to your
good
old
standing.
bylaws.
So you can change the bylaws without being in good standing, but you can't vote unless you're in good standing.
It's very confusing.
That makes no sense.
Another
They
amendment
were
for
drinking
y'all to
too much.
consider.
But we couldn't get that if we didn't
So
have
we
5
really
minutes.
can't do anything.
I'm telling you.
How can we dissolve the board?
So why bother?
The developer wrote it.
Yeah, this is not, I mean, this was handed down to y'all. Like, this is
Wait,
not
I really
something.
want to know, can we even do anything, even if we get all these people to vote? If they're in bad standing, then we can't have a meeting to have the vote counted.
What she's saying is it's not clarified in your documents whether they need to be in good standing.
So you need to
have
to attend one of these meetings, you have to be in good standing, is what I'm saying.
No,
So
no,
we
you
could
can
have-
attend the meeting, not in good standing, you just can't vote.
But you can change the bylaw without voting?
No.
Okay, then you gotta explain this to me. You're saying that we can change the bylaws and be not in good standing, right? You don't have to be in good standing to change the bylaws.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
That's what somebody just said that.
No.
That's why we're all so confused. So you said something that, you said that we don't have to be in good standing to vote, right? That's what you just said.
No.
Then what do we not have to be in good standing
It's
for?
75%. They don't have to be.
What did you ask her? Because
was that for Ron McDonald?
she
She
said
said the language is not specified in that document, which
Yeah.
screws us, basically.
I saved
Is what I
So
think.
you need, all the documents that I've read, you have to be in good standing. This is the only document I've ever heard of saying that you
It's a
don't have to.
weird, it talks about amendment of the covenant, like, it's like big picture, like.
So you can't change the covenant, you can change the covenant.
You can't change the covenants, you have to get 75% of everybody.
It doesn't say in
But they
good
don't have to
standing,
be
it
in
says,
standing.
it
No,
says.
they could
the
owe,
votes
they could
in
owe
the
the association a year worth of dues.
Because
so
change
good.
But we can, but to change the covenants, we have to have one of these meetings, right?
Yes.
To change the covenants, we have to have one of these meetings.
Or a special meeting.
No, you can do a special meeting. So we could make the requirement for the special meeting that you don't have to be in good standing.
Right.
Because to come to one of these meetings and vote, you have to be in good standing. We all signed in and had to pay our dues and be in good standing to be here tonight.
Oh, for sure.
But to change the covenants, you can vote and not be in good standing, is what you just said.
I would read, if I
Am
were
I not hearing her correctly?
Oh.
In that document, apparently it doesn't say. Which to me kind of seems like it screws us, because then it seems like we can't do anything one way or
Right,
the
that's what
other.
I'm saying. It
because
doesn't matter
we
whether
can
we
get
get
stuff on the
it
road.
It sounds like people need to read the documents fully. Because she hasn't
No
been.
one did the budget.
Do you guys understand how I'm confused?
Yes.
I mean, you do?
It sounds like people need to read the documents because these people are volunteers. She's busy doing accounting work and she's not paid to read your documents yet.
Well, you know what, here's what I need to please let everybody know.
Where you going?
No, that's awesome.
The budget is just to cover the expenses. I think everybody knows 30-year-old more attention now, and I have the documentation before me, everything that has been spent on this. And what I wanted to tell you, when you're talking about the magistrate court,
Yes.
when I send out a notice, I send a notice.
I can't hear.
No, please listen. I mean, please listen. This affects everybody. Because y'all are here because y'all are concerned. Y'all are in this room because you're concerned. But if I don't get a response whenever an account's delinquent, because it's not fair for just the people, some people to carry the load here. And we could be saving money towards these additional expenses if we had our accounts receivable now, up to date. Now, you may be surprised to know, but one of the things I was gonna let you know tonight is that while we're saving and while we're trying hard to work within our budget, in last year, the attorney filed 21 liens. This year, yes, for money.
What was it?
For money. Now, 70 letters
70.
that I have sent every quarter if you are late. That's the only time you get a letter is if you're late. Don't hurry. I send the letter,
It's not
I
true.
send it again, and then
I don't get invoices ever.
she just got
Ever.
sent out 70 letters that owe more than $351.
You sent out letters or she?
I did first. She doesn't get it until I probably.
She
send
does them all
one
first and then
Right,
sends
so
them to me.
you're
And
probably.
they don't listen until they get the letter from the attorney, they don't pay.
So your process is to send a notice, and then a warning, and then a lien, and then hand it to her.
No. I send the notice that it's delinquent and it's renewed current within 10 days. The second quarter, if they have not paid, I send another notice, and if they don't pay, then if you're half a year behind, it goes to next.
I've been looking at the budget, because I get these notices, $18,000 plus lawyers, lots of lawyers, and judge, plus, but y'all are expensive.
Oh, we are.
Why don't we have the documents to go to the magistrate court, because once you go to the property, file that $20,000, being towards them, and then once that's done, you can send them the proper documentation to one of the board members who represent themselves.
And that's not where the goal is.
I know the cost was hard, but what I'm saying is you can avoid that expensive cost, like you did with this. But you can avoid that expensive cost.
Like for the things that are pure assessment only, why are they just being cut magistrate?
Right, because it's literally $94 a file, and they can go and represent themselves, and 9 times out of 10, they're just gonna say, here's the money that I
Well, that's why we just need to get the attorney involved, because when she sends the letter, and look, see that letter from the attorney, we will be collecting this last quarter, and it will be a lot of
can't
can't hear. I can't hear, and I'll have to report back to a homeowner, I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, y'all ready to know this?
Meeting gone awry.
Guys, we've had a lot of vandalism at the pool. One of the things the advisory committee did do a couple years ago was put in the little lending library. The books ended up in the pool recently. And then some skateboarders who had hopped the fence, being good citizens and getting the books out while skateboarding around. Then, just recently, as you heard Deb say, the big pool. That one was next to going into the big pool. We have the cameras. We are talking with law enforcement. But keep your eyes and ears open because, you know, people are ruining our nice area.
Your nice area.
Your nice area. The advisory committee was instrumental in getting the doggy waste stations. I don't know, I see people who go by my house, they don't even think about that. But those kinds of things, the advisory committee can make suggestions to the board to see if you have the money to do it. So, funnel those suggestions and please help us help the vandalism. You know, the police drive through the park. I live over in that way. I walk my dog over there. They do drive through, and I did catch kids in the pool area that had jumped the fence. I called the cops. By the time the cops got there, which was really quick, you have to be close, they had absconded and, you know, one left a bicycle, which we kept, and nobody ever came complaining. So,
Are y'all going to discuss the budget?
I think
I
a
have a
couple
question
of
related
people.
to that. The neighborhoods that are right when you come in, that are like cul-de-sac of like duplexes, is that Sugar Lane away?
no,
And
one's on the other side.
Jefferson is not. Jefferson.
When you come out Coleraine, when you come out, it's not Coleraine, it's what Coleraine turns into. You know, if you're going to.
That is Coleraine.
It is still Coleraine, okay. If you come in there, there's two neighborhoods that are there.
The one on the left,
Is that kind of near?
That's
where
ours.
they have Christmas decorations up already, that's HOA, that's Madison. The other side of the street is not Indigo, but we have people coming to the park from Park Place and Boardwalk. Yeah. Hang on.
I just wanted to comment, but there's only a couple of people who want to discuss the budget. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just didn't want to like step in. Does she still have?
Is that a Tanzanite? Very pretty. Is that the year to date? Yeah. Do you mind if I see? Yeah. So accounting expense, this is how much you paid for this year so far. This is what you're budgeted for the whole year.
I don't think we actually sent that out.
That's weird. Never You want me to ask? I mean, you seem like you would be the one. Well, I actually do what she does, but on a larger scale. So I do property management for HOAs and COAs and commercial in Georgia. I'm local, I'm in Kingsburg.
So when my friend was telling me all these issues, I was like, well, I'll come with you. And she's like, well, you know, I can't go because her son had surgery. So we need that. And I was like, okay. So ever since those are set, that's for sure. Oh, okay.
Advisory. You know, what needs to be done, you can just MLS. You have community as a county, and then they advise.
You could probably find it under public and use our address and find out if it's public. Then you probably would take the PO box or the address of yeah, it's called County Public. That's what I have on county tax the reason that I asked about
Plus she's not doing covenant, so she's not doing the accounting, she's not doing the post office. Notice, I was there at the post office.
The person who does your finances wears that like the person who does well, so the office phone is like for people to call her, and the full phone that's just a staple that you have to have her work out. But why does it get more expensive? For the phone is more expensive. It's $150. It's a special phone that only dials out to I do what I so, well, my best friend's dad just bought a house in Sugarmill, and she wanted me to come because she knows that I do this in Kingsland. So, yeah, so I know what she's talking about. Someone can try her in well, this is all.
Legally, no, like, you ask me a question, I can answer, but I can say, hey,
this is everything that I know that she gets: accounting expenses, communication, compliance, event expenses, which, like, I never management services, office expense, postage expense, that should be included. Right, and the telephone. Right. Well, it looks like if you take this to an accountant, it looks like she's double charging.
well, I'll tell you.
Why is that? If it's a big one.
So my best friend volunteers as well, probably, and they asked me to come over and what I want to do, what she does for a living, surgery.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, and I think the person that I learned